Welcome to Drift into History. Tonight, we will travel gently into the ancient world once more, past rivers and walls, past stone roads and temple lights, and into the quiet evening of ancient Persia. Imagine the sun lowering over a wide land of hills and gardens. The air is still warm from the day, but it is beginning to soften. A pale gold light rests on stone terraces. Cypress trees stand in long, dark lines. Water moves through narrow channels. And somewhere in the distance, a fountain gives a steady sound. Persia at evening does not rush toward darkness. It settles slowly, courtyard by courtyard, path by path, lamp by lamp. Tonight, we are not here for empire, not for battles, not for royal commands carved into stone. Tonight, we are here for something quieter. The ordinary comfort of daily life at the end of the day, the sound of sandals on cool stone, the scent of bread and herbs in shaded rooms, the murmur of water in a garden, the hush of evening air moving through cypress and pomegranate trees. We will walk through peaceful courtyards. We will pass storerooms and kitchens. We will move along garden paths. We will pause by water channels. We will step through shaded halls. And we will let the ancient world become calm enough for sleep. So take a slow breath. Let your shoulders soften, let your hands rest, and allow the noise of today to begin drifting farther away. If thoughts appear, let them come and go. Do not hold them. Do not chase them. Let them move like water through a narrow channel. Steady, quiet, without effort. Now imagine standing on a stone terrace above a Persian garden. The sky is wide. The last light of day stretches in warm layers over the land. Dusty gold, soft rose, then a deeper blue gathering at the edges. Below you, paths divide the garden into careful shapes. Water runs through slender channels cut in stone. The sound is gentle, a steady little thread of movement. A garden like this is not only beautiful, it is cooling, calming, a place where the body can recover from the heat of the day, a place where the mind can grow quiet. You can smell earth that has been watered, fresh herbs, a little fruit in the air, perhaps figs, perhaps pomegranate, perhaps the faint sweetness of blossoms that still remain in the evening light. Near one wall, a servant carries a clay lamp. The flame trembles once in the moving air, then steadies. Farther away, another lamp appears in a doorway, then another beside a path. The whole place begins to glow gently, not brightly, only enough to guide a step, only enough to make the evening feel safe. Persia is a land of contrasts. Dry hills, green gardens, sun-heated stone, cool water in shadow, wide roads, quiet inner rooms, and at evening, all of those contrasts soften into balance. The heat lifts, the breeze returns, the shadows lengthen, and the world becomes slower. If you walk carefully, you notice small things. A folded cloth left on a bench, a copper bowl catching the last light, a pomegranate resting beside a doorway, a jar of water cooling in shade, the edge of a woven mat, the faint movement of leaves above a courtyard wall. Everything feels used, practical, and peaceful, not arranged for display, but arranged for life. A man crosses the courtyard carrying a tray. A woman folds linen in the quiet light. A child pauses by the channel to watch water move over smooth stone. No one seems hurried, because the brightest part of the day has passed, and ancient Persia is entering its gentler hour. Now imagine a long hall open to the evening air. Columns hold up a shaded roof. Stone beneath your feet is cooler than the paths outside. A breeze moves through the space. You hear the smallest echo of footsteps. Then, quiet again. Beyond the hall, another garden waits. Trees, water, stone, light. The same calm shapes repeated with care, not because the world must be grand, but because order itself can be soothing, because symmetry can feel restful, because the mind relaxes when things are placed gently and well. This is not the Persia of noise, not the Persia of ceremonies and announcements. This is the Persia of evening bread, of watered gardens, of soft conversation in shaded rooms, of sandals left by a doorway, of lamps lowered before sleep. And because of that, this world can become calm inside your imagination. A place not of pressure, but of rhythm, not of spectacle, but of stillness. Now look upward. The first star appears above the dark line of the trees, then another, and another. The sky above Persia grows deeper. The garden below grows quieter. The day is breathing out, and you can breathe out too. You do not need to remember every detail. You do not need to hold on to every image. You can simply listen, simply walk, and let this ancient evening become a gentle background for rest. Welcome to Drift into History. Tonight we will wander through a quiet night in ancient Persia, and when you are ready, we will begin. Take one more slow breath in and out. Let your eyelids grow soft. Let the sound of water slow your thoughts. Let the lamps guide you into calm. And gently, quietly, drift into history. Morning comes slowly to ancient Persia. At first, the sky is only pale, a soft light above distant hills. The stars fade quietly, one by one, and the air feels cooler than it will later, fresh, still, and touched by the faint scent of watered earth. In the garden city, the first light moves carefully. It touches the tops of cypress trees. It slides across stone paths. It catches the surface of narrow water channels and turns them pale silver for a moment. The city is not fully awake yet. Courtyards remain dim. Doorways are still dark. Flat roofs hold the last coolness of night. A clay jar stands in the shade beside a wall. A woven mat rests near a bench. A folded cloth lies where it was left the evening before. Everything waits for the day to begin. Then a door opens quietly. A figure steps into a courtyard, bare feet on cool stone. A pause, a slow breath. The day begins not with noise, but with small movements. A hand lifting a cup. A shutter pushed open. A clay bowl moved across a table. A jug filled from a water jar. One sound. Then stillness. Then another sound a few steps away. The kind of beginning that asks for calm. Now imagine walking along a garden path at dawn. The stone under your feet is smooth in places, sanded by many years of use. A little damp in the shadows where cool air has lingered. Water runs through a narrow channel beside the path. Not quickly, not loudly, just enough to make a soft, continuous sound. The kind of sound that slows the mind without effort. Tall cypress trees line the path. Their dark shapes rise against the brightening sky. Leaves move slightly in the morning breeze. And a bird lands on a branch above you, still for a moment, then gone again. In the distance, a fountain begins to catch the light. Water falls into a basin. Again and again, a quiet rhythm, reliable, unhurried. In one courtyard, a woman begins to prepare the morning meal. A small oven is already warm. Dough is shaped by careful hands. Round loaves, simple and practical. Nearby, herbs rest on a cloth. Mint, parsley, something green and fresh. A small bowl of dates waits beside them. A jar of water catches a little sunlight on its rim. Bread in ancient Persia, like in so many old lands, belongs to the beginning of the day, to the middle of the day, and to the end of it. Warm bread, cool water, a little fruit, a little cheese if available, a little oil, a little herb, simple food, steady food, the kind that belongs to daily life. As the sky grows brighter, more people appear. A servant carries water through a hall. A child crosses a courtyard with a cloth in both hands. A man steps into a garden and checks the flow of water through a narrow channel. In Persian spaces, water is not only useful, it is part of beauty, part of order, part of calm. A garden is arranged around it. A courtyard is cooled by it. A path is made softer by the sound of it. Now imagine stepping through a shaded hall supported by stone columns. The morning light enters in long, clear shapes. The floor is cool. Your footsteps are quiet. Ahead, another courtyard opens, this one brighter than the last. A pomegranate tree grows near one corner. Its leaves are still. A bench rests beside the wall, and near the center, a stone basin holds still water. The surface reflects the sky and the top of the walls. A servant leans down to fill a smaller cup. The reflection breaks, then settles again. Elsewhere in the city, morning work begins in gentle layers. A cloth is shaken out once, then folded. A broom brushes dust from a threshold. A jar lid is lifted and replaced. A door opens toward the street, then another. No one seems rushed, because morning in a place like this arrives gradually. The city wakes in order, in light, in water, in quiet, repeated tasks. If you step toward the outer streets, you begin to hear a little more. A donkey moving slowly, a cartwheel turning over stone, a low voice calling to someone across a lane. But even here, the sounds feel measured, not crowded, not sharp. Ancient Persia at morning does not push itself into the day. It unfolds. One courtyard, one path, one lamp put out, one loaf prepared, one channel checked for water. The shape of the day grows clearer with every small act. Now imagine climbing a few steps to a terrace overlooking the gardens. The light is stronger now, golden on stone, bright on water. The cypress shadows are long and elegant, and the city feels both wide and intimate at once. A place of walls and open sky, of structured gardens and quiet rooms, of work that begins softly and beauty that belongs to ordinary life. This is one of the calmest hours, before the warmth grows strong, before the day becomes busy, before voices rise and footsteps multiply. A moment when the city still feels half asleep. And because it is half asleep, you can drift through it more easily. Take a slow breath and let this Persian morning settle around you. The water channels, the cool stone, the bread, the herbs, the first light on cypress trees, the low sounds of a city beginning its day. Nothing more is needed. Only this gentle hour, only this quiet beginning. As we continue, we will move farther into the city, into halls and workshops, into courtyards and market paths, into the daily life that gives ancient Persia its peaceful rhythm. But for now, simply remain here, where the water moves slowly, where the air is cool, and where the day has only just begun. Now the morning has fully arrived. The cool stillness of dawn has begun to soften. The light is warmer now, and the city of ancient Persia begins to move with a steady rhythm. Imagine leaving the garden path behind. You walk through a shaded passage, then into a wider lane between walls of pale stone and mud brick. The air is still comfortable. A breeze moves through now and then, carrying the scent of water, a little dust, a little herb, and the faint smell of bread from nearby ovens. The lane opens into a courtyard. This one is larger, surrounded by rooms on every side. A low bench rests near the wall. A water jar stands in shade. A narrow channel runs beside the stones, carrying a thin stream of water into a basin. The basin reflects light and the shape of a cypress tree above it. Here, the work of the day is already underway, but even work feels calm in this place. A woman folds linen on a bench. A child carries a small bowl carefully with both hands. A servant sweeps dust from the edge of a passage, back and forth, back and forth. The motion is steady. The sound is soft. Nothing is rushed. Because morning in Persia unfolds in an ordered way, one task after another, each belonging to its hour. Now imagine stepping into a workshop near the courtyard. The room is open to the air on one side, cooler than the lane outside. Light enters in angled shapes across the floor. On a table rests small tools: a knife, a smooth stone, a folded cloth, a copper bowl. A craftsman sits near the light, working with wood. His hands are patient. He lifts a piece, turns it, runs his fingers along the edge, then begins to smooth it with a blade. A soft scraping sound, then a pause, then another pass of the blade. The wood carries a dry, clean scent, warm from the day, but still fresh. Nearby, in another shaded room, thread is being wound. Wool or linen, pulled carefully between fingers, wrapped around a spindle, round and round. A quiet motion, gentle, repetitive, the kind of work that belongs to a calm mind. A woman sits with her back against a wall, light touching one side of her face, her hands moving without hurry. A child beside her watches, then reaches for a strand, trying to follow, trying to understand the pattern of the work. In another courtyard, herbs are laid out on cloth: mint, parsley, coriander, perhaps fennel, green against pale fabric. Their scent rises where the sunlight touches them, a little sharp, a little fresh, a little sweet. A hand lifts one bundle, turns it, then sets it back down. Everything is cared for. Everything is placed with quiet attention. Now imagine walking farther into the city. The lanes are still not crowded, but more footsteps move through them now. A man carries a basket of dates. Another balances a tray with cups. A donkey passes slowly with small sacks tied at the side. Its hooves make a soft sound on packed earth. Step, step, step. The rope at its neck shifts gently, then stills. In the distance, you can hear more of the city waking. A cartwheel over stone, a voice calling once, then not again. The low murmur of people greeting one another at the edge of a lane, and always, somewhere nearby, water. A small channel, a basin, a fountain, a sound that gives the whole city a sense of calm continuity. Now imagine a kitchen courtyard. Simple, orderly. A low oven warm from early bread. A clay table, bowls resting in shade. A servant pours grain into a shallow tray. The grains make a soft sound, like dry sand slipping into place. Another hand sorts dates into two bowls. Good fruit in one, bruised fruit in another. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is thrown carelessly aside. These small decisions shape the day as much as any larger one. In ancient Persia, much of life depends on arrangement. Water guided through channels, shade created by walls and trees, food prepared in simple sequence, objects stored carefully, rooms opened and closed with the movement of the sun. This kind of order is not harsh. It is restful, because it allows daily life to move smoothly, because it creates predictability, and predictability can be very calming. Now imagine a hallway supported by stone columns. The roof above casts long bands of shade. The floor below is cool. Footsteps echo softly here. A tray passes from one room to another. A jug is lifted. A cloth is shaken out once, then folded again. The sounds do not break the quiet. They belong to it. At the end of the hall, another courtyard waits. This one has a pomegranate tree near the wall, its fruit still small, its leaves still green and narrow in the light. A basin stands beneath it. A bird lands at the edge for a moment, drinks, then rises into the air again. You can hear wings once, then stillness returns. The city of ancient Persia feels full of these small pauses. A task, then a pause. A movement, then a breath. A sound, then quiet again. Nothing presses too hard against the mind. Everything has room around it, and that room is part of what makes the city feel peaceful. Now imagine the outer lane once more. Morning is moving onward. The light is stronger. The walls are warmer, but in shaded spaces, the air remains gentle. A breeze carries the scent of watered earth and distant cypress. A few more people move through the street now, still calm, still measured. A merchant passes with folded cloth. A servant carries a sealed jar. A young boy walks behind, holding a smaller bundle. No one runs. No one raises a voice. The city has work to do, but it does not forget how to move quietly. This is the Persian morning at its most human. Not in royal halls, not in great ceremonies, but here, in courtyards, in workshops, in halls of shade and soft echoes, in the turning of thread, in the smoothing of wood, in the carrying of bread and dates and water from one room to another. If you remain here long enough, you begin to feel the city's pattern, the way air moves through stone passages, the way water cools a courtyard, the way labor and beauty can exist together, the way ordinary life can become soothing when nothing is forced. Now take a slow breath and let this Persian morning settle around you. The courtyards, the workshops, the linen, the wood, the herbs in the sun, the channels of water, the footsteps in shaded halls. Soon the day will grow warmer, and we will move toward the quieter hour of midday, toward rest, toward food, toward cool rooms and softened light. But for now, simply walk slowly, peacefully, through the gentle work of morning in ancient Persia. Now the morning begins to lean toward midday. The light grows stronger. The stone paths hold more warmth, and the city begins to slow in a softer way. Work does not stop, but it changes. People move inward, toward shade, toward halls, toward courtyards cooled by water and walls. Imagine leaving the brighter lane behind. You step through a doorway and into a courtyard where the air feels calmer at once. The sunlight still reaches part of the floor, but most of the space is held in shade. A narrow channel of water moves along one side. Its surface is smooth. Its sound is quiet, a little thread of coolness through the still warmth of the day. A low table rests beneath the shadow of a wall. On it sits a basket of bread, a small bowl of figs, another of dates, a dish of herbs, a cup beside a clay pitcher. Nothing elaborate, nothing arranged for display, only the meal of the day. Simple, useful, and enough. A woman tears bread into pieces, slowly. A child watches, then reaches for a fig. An older man sits against a cushion near the wall, eyes half closed. Not asleep, only resting. The brightest hour of the day has arrived, and the whole house seems to understand it. Midday in ancient Persia invites quiet. The strongest heat asks people to move more gently, to speak more softly, to do smaller tasks in cooler places. The walls help, the shade helps, the water helps, and the ordered beauty of the space helps too. Now imagine the meal more closely. Bread, still carrying a little warmth from earlier. A little cheese, perhaps? A handful of herbs. Figs cut open to show their deep sweetness. Dates dark and soft. A bowl of lentils. Perhaps a little yogurt. Perhaps cucumber. Perhaps fruit cooled in shade. Water is poured into a cup. The sound is clean and brief. The cup is passed, set down, lifted again. These small sounds belong to midday. The sound of bread tearing, the sound of a cup touching clay, the quiet rustle of linen as someone shifts in shade. Nothing hurried, nothing sharp. Only a calm pause in the middle of the day. Now imagine stepping into an inner room beside the courtyard. The light is dimmer there, the air cooler. A woven mat lies on the floor. A folded blanket rests near the wall. A storage jar stands in one corner, a copper bowl in another. The room holds very little, but what it holds is enough. This is where the body can rest while the sun is highest. This is where a child may sleep for a little while, where someone may sit and spin threads slowly, where an older person may simply breathe in the quiet and let the day pass overhead. Outside the room, the water channel continues to move, steady, soft. The sound reaches the shaded space like a low, calm whisper. If you listen carefully, you can hear the city beyond the walls too, but only faintly. A donkey in the distance, a door closing softly, a broom brushing dust from stone, then calm again. The walls soften every sound. They turn the city into a background hum, a distant presence rather than a demand. Now imagine another courtyard nearby, this one a little brighter, with vines climbing one wall, a pomegranate tree casting delicate shadows. A servant gathers fruit into a shallow basket, one fig, then another. A handful of dates, a few herbs tied with string. Simple tasks continue here, but they belong to shade, to slowness, to the middle hour when even labor becomes quiet. At a basin, someone rinses a cup. The water catches the light, then breaks into circles, then becomes still again. A cloth is dampened, folded, and laid over the edge of a jar to keep the water cool. Another cloth is shaken gently, then placed over a basket to keep bread from drying in the warmth. Everything is tended, everything is adjusted to the day. This is one of the things that makes ancient Persian life feel so restful. Not that there is no work, but that the work often follows the light, the heat, the water, the shape of the day itself. When the sun is strongest, people do not force the world to move faster. They adapt to it. They move with it. And there is wisdom in that. Now imagine sitting quietly in the shade beside the channel. You can smell fruit, watered earth, a little herb, a little warm stone. You can hear the faint rustle of leaves above the wall. A bird lands briefly in the courtyard tree, then flies away. The whole space feels held, balanced, cool enough, bright enough, enough shade, enough stillness. Enough food. Nothing more is needed. This feeling of enough is part of what makes midday in Persia so calm. It is not empty. It is complete. A small meal, a place to sit, a little breeze, a little water, a little fruit, a little quiet. Sometimes that is all the body asks for, and all the mind needs as well. Now imagine the moments passing slowly, the sunlight moving a little across the floor, the bowl of figs becoming smaller, a child's breathing turning softer with rest, a hand lifting a cup, then placing it down again. These are not moments that would be written into royal histories, but they are moments that make a life. And because they are small, they are easy to drift with, easy to settle into, easy to carry toward sleep. Now take a slow breath and let this Persian midday settle around you. The bread, the figs, the dates, the shade of the courtyard wall, the coolness of water moving through stone, the soft air inside a quiet room. Soon the heat will begin to loosen, the light will soften again, and we will step gently into afternoon, toward gardens, toward evening paths, toward the slower golden light that comes before night. But for now, remain here, in the quiet shade of Persia, where fruit rests in bowls, where bread is shared without hurry, and where even the brightest part of the day can become gentle. Now the strongest heat of the day begins to loosen. The white brightness softens. The stones still hold warmth, but the air no longer feels so heavy. A breeze moves through the garden again, and ancient Persia begins to wake from its quiet midday pause. Imagine stepping out from the shaded room. You return to the courtyard. The water channel still runs beside the stone, softly, steadily. Its sound has not changed, but your body notices it differently now. It feels cooler, more refreshing, more alive. A A folded cloth is lifted from a bench. A cup is rinsed. A bowl is carried away. Small things begin again. Not quickly, not all at once. Just one simple movement after another. Now imagine walking through a narrow passage into the garden beyond. The light is warmer than before, less sharp, more golden. A cypress tree casts a long, dark shape across the path. Pomegranate leaves move gently above a wall. A basin of water reflects part of the sky. The garden is ordered, but it does not feel stiff. It feels restful. Paths divide the space cleanly. Water moves where it is meant to move. Shade falls where it is needed. The whole place seems arranged to quiet the body and to slow the mind. A servant walks across the path with a clay jar, both hands steady. The jar is full. Cool water touches the rim and darkens the clay. The steps are careful, measured. The sandals make almost no sound. At the edge of the garden, another person kneels by the channel. A few leaves have drifted into the water. They are lifted out one by one, then set aside. A stone is adjusted where the water turns. The flow changes slightly, just enough. Now the channel carries water more evenly toward the next bed of herbs. Without these small acts of care, the water would wander, the earth would dry, and the calm of the place would begin to fade. Now imagine walking farther. A bench stands in a deeper patch of shade. On it rests a low basket. Inside are figs, a few dates, and a folded cloth placed over the top to keep them cool. One fig has split open with ripeness, dark and sweet. A bee circles once, then moves away into brighter light. Nearby, herbs grow close to the path. Mint, parsley, coriander. When the breeze passes over them, their scent rises gently, fresh, green, a little sharp, a little sweet. You breathe in, and the whole garden feels cooler because of it. Now imagine the quiet work of afternoon, returning in different corners of the house. In one hall, thread is being wound around a spindle, round and round. A calm hand, a repeated motion. In another room, a small wooden box is opened. Tools are lifted out, set in a row, then used one by one. A strip of leather is smoothed. A knot is retied. A loose handle is fixed. Nothing dramatic, nothing urgent. Only the useful work that keeps daily life in order. In a shaded courtyard, fruit is sorted. The best figs in one bowl, the softer ones in another. Dates gathered into a cloth, then tied and set aside. A child helps for a while, small hands moving carefully, then pauses to watch the water in the basin. The water interests the child more than the fruit. The little reflections, the moving leaves above, the circles that appear when a finger touches the surface. Now imagine stepping into a long open hall supported by columns. The floor beneath your feet is cool. The light enters from one side, making long bands across the stone. The air moves through the hall in a slow, quiet current. At one end, someone polishes a copper bowl, small circles with a cloth, again and again. The bowl grows brighter where the cloth passes. At the other end, someone folds linen, one edge to the other, then again and again. A motion so simple it almost becomes invisible. And yet, these are the motions that make a house feel complete. A house becomes peaceful not only through beauty, but through care, through repetition, through the quiet order of ordinary things being returned to their places. Now imagine the sound of the afternoon in this Persian home. Not silence, but layers of gentleness. The water channel, a cloth shaken once, a cup placed on stone, the low scrape of wood being smoothed, a bird in a tree beyond the wall, the faint sound of sandals passing across a courtyard. Each sound leaves room around itself. Nothing crowds the air. Nothing insists too strongly. And because of that, the mind does not need to tighten. It can remain open, resting, resting, following one small image after another. Now imagine the garden again. The light has shifted a little more. The stones are no longer bright white. They have turned warm, pale gold. The shadows under the trees are longer now. A fountain at the far end of the path catches the light only at the edges. The rest of it is cool and dim. Water falls into the basin with a soft, repeated sound. Again and again, the kind of sound that can hold a thought for a moment, then let it go. A man enters the garden carrying a folded mat. He places it beside the bench, not to use yet, only to have it ready for later. For evening, perhaps. For cooler air. For sitting outside when the lamps are lit. This, too, is part of afternoon, preparing quietly for what comes next. Not rushing toward it, just making space for it. Now imagine looking upward. The sky above the courtyard is a little deeper now, still bright, but no longer at its strongest. A bird crosses once, then another. Somewhere beyond the wall, a donkey moves through a lane. Its steps are slow, its breathing steady. Then the sound drifts away. You remain in the garden, near the herbs, near the water, near the cool stone of the hall, and you begin to feel how ancient Persia moves through time, not in sudden changes, but in gentle transitions. Morning to midday, midday to afternoon, afternoon toward evening, each one announced by light, by air, by the softness of sound. Now take a slow breath and let this afternoon settle around you. The ordered garden, the moving water, the shade beneath the cypress, the quiet hands returning to work, the figs resting in a basket, the hall of cool stone and soft echoes. Soon the sun will lower more, the color of the world will grow warmer, and the first preparations for evening will begin. But for now, remain here, in the calm heart of ancient Persia, where work has returned, but gently, where water still moves through stone, and where the whole afternoon seems to breathe slowly. Now the afternoon begins to lean gently toward evening. The brightest light has passed, the air is softer, and the whole city seems to loosen a little. Imagine remaining in the garden for a moment longer. The water still moves through the channels, but the sound feels different now. Not cooler, not sharper, just deeper somehow, more settled. The sun is lower, and the light has turned warm across the stone. The pale paths now glow with gold. The trunks of the cypress trees stand darker than before. Their shadows stretch farther, long and quiet across the ground. A servant passes once more through the garden, this time carrying a small clay lamp. Not yet lit, just held carefully in both hands. The wick has been prepared. The oil has been poured. The lamp is ready. It only waits for the light to fall a little farther. This is how evening begins in ancient Persia, not all at once. First, the shadows lengthen. Then the work slows. Then small objects begin to move toward night. A mat placed near a wall. A lamp set beside a doorway. A cloth lifted from the line. A jar of water moved inward from the sun. Now imagine walking through a long hall open on one side to the garden. Columns hold the roof above. The floor is smooth stone, cool beneath your feet. Bands of light fall between the columns. Bright, then dim, then bright again. As you move through them, the hall feels almost like water, alternating light and shadow, warmth and coolness. Beyond the columns, the garden remains still. But inside the hall, the house is beginning to prepare for evening. A folded cloth is placed in a basket. A tray is carried from one room to another. A low table is wiped clean. A copper bowl catches the last sunlight, then dims again as someone moves it into shade. At the far end of the hall, another lamp waits. Beside it is a small bowl of oil and a cloth for the wick. Nothing decorative, nothing unnecessary, only the useful objects that make the evening possible. Now imagine stepping into a room that opens toward a courtyard. The walls are pale, The air is calm, a little warmer than the hall, but still comfortable. A woman kneels beside a chest. She lifts out folded linen, places one cloth on a bench, another beside a wall. A child passes through the room carrying a cup, careful not to spill. At the doorway, someone pauses to look outside. The light is changed again. It is no longer the light of work. It is the light that belongs to the hour before rest. Now imagine the city beyond the house, not the great Persia of palaces and roads, but the quieter Persia of homes and gardens and evening routines. Somewhere beyond the walls, another family is doing the same things, bringing in cloth, filling lamps, washing a cup, setting out food for the evening. The whole city seems to move in this rhythm together, not by command, but by habit, by the long memory of days repeated gently. Now imagine stepping out into another courtyard, this one more open to the sky. The light here is softer than anywhere else. A pomegranate tree catches the last warm glow. Its leaves flicker once in the breeze. A basin reflects the pale gold of the wall and the first deeper blue of the sky above. A hand enters the water, lifts, then leaves behind widening circles. The reflection breaks, then settles again. Everything in this hour feels like that. A soft breaking, then a soft settling. A gentle change from one part of the day to the next. Near the basin, someone lights the first lamp. The wick catches. The flame trembles once, then steadies. Its light is small, but enough. Enough to warm the nearby wall. Enough to touch the rim of a clay jar. Enough to change the feeling of the whole courtyard. One lamp is never just one lamp. It is the beginning of evening. A signal to the body. A signal to the house. A signal that the day has turned. Now imagine another lamp being lit in a hallway, then one near a doorway, then one in a room farther inside. The house does not become bright, only gently visible. Edges soften, shadows deepen. The world becomes smaller, safer, closer, and that smaller world can be deeply calming. The sounds change too. The tasks of afternoon fade. The soft scraping of tools grows rarer. The sound of thread being wound disappears. In their place comes smaller evening sounds. A cup set down, a footstep slowed, a cloth folded one final time, the low crackle of a tiny flame, a little breeze moving through leaves outside, and always, in the background, water. Still moving, still steady, still threading its quiet way through the garden and the house. Now imagine returning once more to the garden path. The cypress shadows are long now. The air is almost cool. The sky above holds layers of fading color. Gold near the horizon, blue above it, and a deepening tone that hints at the stars to come. You can smell watered earth, warm stone releasing the last heat of the day. A little fruit, a little oil, a little smoke from a lamp newly lit. This is the hour when Persia feels most balanced. Not day, not yet night, not work, not yet sleep, only a gentle middle place. A place of preparation, of softening, of becoming calm. Now take a slow breath and let this evening settle around you. The hall of stone, the garden path, the first lamp, the folded cloth, the water reflecting sky and wall, the quiet understanding shared by everyone in the house that the day is ending well. Soon the evening meal will be set out. More lamps will glow, and the first stars will appear above the gardens of Persia. But for now, remain here, in the warm, fading light, in the quiet halls, in the first gentle hour of evening. Now the evening has deepened. The first lamps are already glowing. The last warmth of day lingers in the walls, but the air itself has softened. Imagine stepping from the garden path back into the house. The hall is dim now, not dark, only touched by the warm, low light of clay lamps. A flame burns in a wall niche, another near a doorway, a third beside a low table in the inner room. Each light is small, but together, they change everything. The stone no longer feels like part of the day. Now it belongs to evening. Now imagine the meal being prepared, not in haste, not with noise, just the quiet work of bringing things together. A basket of bread is set on the table, a bowl of figs beside it, another of dates. A little cheese, a little yogurt perhaps, a dish of herbs, mint, parsley, something green and fresh. Water is poured from a clay jar into small cups. The sound is clear, brief. Then stillness again. Someone tears bread into pieces. Another arranges fruit into a shallow bowl. A child watches closely, then reaches out for one date. The motion is slow, almost sleepy already. Now imagine the room itself. The walls are pale in the lamplight. The shadows are soft. A woven mat lies near the table. A folded cloth rests on a bench. A copper bowl catches a little flame and reflects it back in warm gold. Nothing here is rich in the way of ceremony, but everything feels cared for. Everything feels enough. And that sense of enough can be deeply calming. The meal begins. A piece of bread passed from hand to hand. A cup lifted, set down again. A fig cut open. The knife touching clay with a tiny sound. Someone speaks softly. Another answers. Then, silence. Not empty silence. Comfortable silence. The kind that comes when people know each other well. The kind that asks for nothing. Outside the house, the city is growing quieter. Fewer footsteps pass along the lanes. A door closes gently somewhere nearby. A donkey shifts behind a wall. Then stillness again. From farther away comes the faintest sense of water. Not loud enough to hear clearly, only enough to feel. A quiet reminder that the channels still move through the gardens, that the fountains still feed their basins. That water remains in the dark, even when not seen. Now imagine another house nearby. There too, an evening meal is being shared. There too, lamps have been lit, cloth has been folded, bread has been placed out. The same quiet sequence repeated from home to home, not because anyone is commanded to do it, but because the hour itself invites it, because evening asks the body to slow, and the house answers by becoming warm and small and safe. Now imagine stepping into a courtyard after the meal. The air is cooler here, a little cleaner. The sky above is darker now. The first stars are visible between the lines of the roof and wall. One star, then another, then many more. The basin in the courtyard reflects one small lamp and a strip of sky. A leaf drifts once across the surface. The reflection breaks, then settles. A child stands near the basin, looking upward. An older hand rests lightly on the child's shoulder. No one speaks for a few moments. There is no need. The sky is enough. Now imagine climbing to a terrace above the courtyard. The evening air feels even better there. It moves gently through the trees and above the garden walls. A blanket has been brought out. A lamp set near a corner where the breeze cannot touch it too strongly. From here, you can see the dark lines of cypress trees, the pale paths below, and beyond the walls, other homes with other lamps burning low. Ancient Persia at this hour feels wide and close at the same time. Wide because the sky opens above the gardens. Close because every room and courtyard glows gently with human life. The first stars above Persia are small and steady. They do not flash, they simply remain. And their quiet steadiness gives comfort. Perhaps someone points toward one. A child looks. A question is asked softly. A simple answer follows. Then quiet returns. This is one of the gentlest hours of the day. The work is done. The heat is gone. The food has been shared. The lamps are lit. The stars are arriving. And all that remains is to let the evening continue. If you listen carefully, you can hear how Persia sounds at this hour. A cup being rinsed inside, a lamp wick adjusted, a sandal set beside a doorway, a little movement of leaves above the wall, a faint sound from the garden channel. Then, nothing for a while. Then the quiet sounds begin again. Each one small, each one softened by night. Now imagine sitting beside one of the lamps, watching its flame, the way it leans once in the moving air, then steadies, the way it lights the edge of bread on the table, the rim of a water cup, the folded line of cloth near the wall. A lamp like this does not fill a room with brightness. It fills it with calm. It tells the body the day has ended. It tells the mind nothing more is required. And that may be one of the most restful messages in the world. Now imagine the scent of the room. Warm bread, fruit, a little oil, the dry smell of clay, the faint sweetness of lamp smoke. Beyond all of it, a trace of cool garden air entering from outside. These things belong together now. Meal, lamp, wall, breeze, star, rest. And because they belong together, the whole evening feels complete. Now take a slow breath and let this Persian evening settle around you. The low table, the figs and dates, the warm lamp in its niche, the stars above the terrace, the quiet family gathered close. You do not need to remember every image, only the feeling. Warmth, safety, stillness, ancient Persia at night. Simple, quiet, and almost ready for sleep. As we continue, the lamps will burn lower, the stars will spread wider, and the whole city will drift into its deepest quiet. But for now, remain here, in the gentle hour of supper and lamplight, under the first stars over Persia. Now full night has arrived in ancient Persia. The last trace of evening is gone. The sky is dark and wide, and the gardens rest beneath the stars. Imagine standing once more beside a narrow water channel. The surface is dark now, but not still. It carries small reflections. A lamp from a distant wall, a pale line of moonlight, a single star trembling in the water, then breaking as the current moves. The breeze through the garden is cooler now, gentle, dry, and clean. It touches the cypress trees. It moves through the leaves. A soft whisper, then quiet again. The city beyond the walls has grown very still. A few lamps still burn, small and low, but most rooms have grown dim. Most doors are closed. Most voices have faded. The day is complete. The bread has been shared. The cups have been rinsed. The cloths have been folded. The basins have gone still, and ancient Persia is at rest. Now imagine walking slowly through one last courtyard. The stones beneath your feet are cool. The walls beside you hold only the faint memory of the day's warmth. A lamp glows near a doorway. Its flame is tiny, steady, enough to touch the wall with gold, enough to make the shadows feel soft. A blanket rests on a bench. A clay jar stands beside it. A woven mat lies near the threshold. Everything is simple. Everything is ready for sleep. Inside one room, a child is already asleep, curled beneath a cloth, breathing softly. A cup rests empty nearby. A lamp has been turned low. In another room, someone lies quietly, listening to the water outside in the garden. No one needs to speak now. The house understands the night. The night understands the house. If you listen carefully, ancient Persia has its own sounds after dark. A little movement of leaves above the wall, the faintest trickle of water through stone, a distant sound from another courtyard. Then, silence. Then the water again. Not silence that feels empty, silence that feels full. full of shade, full of coolness, full of rest. Now imagine climbing to a terrace one final time. A blanket is spread. The air is cooler here. The stars are clearer. Above the trees, the sky opens wide. The garden below is only shapes now. Dark paths, still basins, tall cypress shadows, and somewhere below, the water continues to move, steady, patient, as it always has. Now take a slow breath and imagine that you are here too, above the courtyard, above the garden, in the cool Persian night. Nothing is required of you now. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing must be carried any farther. The day has ended. The work has ended. The evening has ended. And now there is only night. If a thought appears, let it pass, like a ripple moving across the basin, seen for a moment, then gone. If a memory comes, let it drift away, like lamp smoke rising once into the dark, then disappearing. Return instead to simple things: the coolness of the air, the softness of cloth, the faint scent of watered earth, the whisper of leaves, the calm weight of your body beginning to rest. In ancient Persia, night returned again and again. After every garden path, after every midday meal, after every evening lamp, after every quiet conversation in the shade, night returned, and with it, this same stillness, this same slow breathing of the house and garden, this same chance to let go. Now imagine one final lamp. Its flame is very small. It flickers once, then steadies, then lowers. Its light touches a clay wall, the rim of a water cup, the folded edge of a cloth. All simple things, all ordinary things. And because they are ordinary, they are comforting. Now you can repeat a simple thought if it helps. The night is calm. The garden is calm. I am calm. The night is calm. The garden is calm. I am calm. Let the words soften each time until they are no longer words. Only a feeling, a quiet heaviness, a peaceful stillness, a gentle drifting. Now take one more slow breath in and out. And let ancient Persia fade softly into the distance. The gardens, the cypress trees, the water channels, the warm walls, the low lamps, the terraces, the stars above the courtyard. All of it can grow quiet now. All of it can become still, and you can drift peacefully into sleep. Thank you for joining this quiet journey. Thank you for drifting into history. Good night and sleep well.